Welcome back to MCOC Al Bundy Rules. I have my monthly Cavalier Event Quest walkthrough. This for September 2021. So going to walk through, mainly using 5 stars, not using any R3s or anything like that. For the walkthroughs, help you get mass completion. Going to show you the easy path and ways that we're kind of bearing it out. We see Cosmic Attacker, 10% chance for armor break, max of 10 stacks, which will cause a Fury. Every 3 seconds, defender gains a permanent armor up buff, increasing armor rating by 20% per stack, 5 max. And then we have the Mystic Ward. Enemy nullify effects have a 95% chance to fail, so meaning those mystics and stuff probably not going to be the best. Best way around through this is some armor break cosmics. Cosmic champs are going to be my beneficial area, so going to bring a team of a few cosmics for this. I see the boss taking a quick look on what to see. First one I really notice is some unblockable aspect, as well as cannot reverse regeneration on the Wolverine, so keeping that consideration. I'm bringing mainly cosmics, however I am bringing Namor for on the path, the Electro. Figure that would be just simplest overall. And I'm bringing Warlock, my first assumption for the Wolverine boss fight, but I haven't 100% decided on that or not. Figured I'd bring him just in case. The 3 cosmics are for the path, going to rotate them on through. Figure kind of buff heavy champs. That should be pretty good for here. Try not to only use one for the whole path, even though any of these 3 probably could clear the entire path, I'm sure. But kind of show you in case you don't got one, you'll see that any of the 3 can go ahead and probably clear most of the fights. So the 3 cosmics I brought is going to be kind of what I am going to show you, with a few exceptions here and there, I'm sure. Kind of like how I brought a Namor for the Electro. If you're not sure what I'm doing or how I'm using Oda, be sure to check out my buff tutorial, after buff tutorial on him. Honestly, one of my favorite cosmics in the game easily, not just for his team synergies or pre-fight or anything. I love playing him. I love using him. I loved him before his buff, and when he got his buff, I was like, huh, really? They're buffing him? Okay, sure, yes, please, thank you. I enjoy him a lot. So if you're not sure what I'm doing, how I'm doing, be sure to take a look, but I'm specifically using him for this fight on Medusa because of his S1 True Strike. Figured that would be kind of a little easier way around and go through once he gets those 3 Furies up, so I wouldn't really have to worry about it. Get that True Strike going, and then get a little bit of damage after that. Had a little bit of mistakes in the fight, but nothing too crazy. And we are looking now at the next one is going to be a Hulkbuster. I decided to bring Corvus because it's 2 charges. And Corvus is someone I haven't been using a whole lot in EQ these days, so some of you probably forgot I even have him. I don't remember the last time I did a video with him. I use him in AQ quite a bit, but haven't used him in much other than AQ in a while, I don't think. So he's still fun and good to use, but I figured he'd be really good for these event quests based on the armor break is going to help here. And I figured out to get 2 charges here. I really lean towards bringing him for that Iron Man Infinity War fight, as Corvus is just like the ideal counter for Iron Man Infinity War and the armor breaks. But if I have a chance to get 2 charges before that fight, then hey, why not, right? I was also looking at bringing my Cole, but I try not to use too high of rank champs for these walkthroughs, and my Cole's an R3 6-star. So I decided, you know what, I'll go ahead and just go with Corvus since he's only a 5-star. I try to keep these walkthroughs in 5 stars, at least nothing more than an R2 6-star at most, just to keep it kind of realistic going through along the way. And I'll use some lower ones here and there. Just depends on who looks like a good fit. And I'll try to bring a few different options for the path, just to show it doesn't take one champ to get on through, so someone doesn't have to think that, oh, I don't have them, I can't use this. Nah, I'll show you a few different options, talk through some different options. Here, Namor just made the most sense. Sure, there's other ones that could work here, but the most just obvious choice in my head is my Max Sig Namor, because I'm not going to take any damage back. So my strategy here is just go ahead, do those attacks, go far enough back to Dex at S1, although I did get a little block clip on part of that. I guess I wasn't quite far enough back. It is a kind of a long S1, and the rest should be simple. Nothing fancy here, just some simple Namor play. And I could probably S3 this over if I wanted to, but I don't feel like going through the long-winded animations. And there we go, down Electro goes. And papoom! Chugga, chugga, chugga. Let us now move on to Iron Man Infinity War again. This was a big reasoning for me wanting to bring Corvus. Just sounded like the simplest, easiest solution, generally speaking. And when I had the chance to get the 2 charges in advance, hey, I can't pass up easy charges on Corvus, right? So starting this fight with 2 charges, seeing some good stuff. I am making sure to rationale my charges, even though this is an Avenger and I already beat an Avenger, so I probably don't need to, but I am anyways, just kind of force the habit, doing some medium light medium combos primarily. I could get a little more aggressive if I wanted to. He's almost down. I still had 21 charges, so Corvus absolutely decimated that fight, as we saw. Moving on to the Warlock. So over here looking at my champs, and like I said, I brought 3 cosmics specifically for this path, at least 5 of the fights for the path, so I haven't used Hyperion yet, so let's go ahead and break out this bad boy. I decided just for fun to go ahead and activate Odin's pre-fight on the aptitude. Figured that could give him a little extra oomph on those Furies, probably. Sure as heck doesn't need it, but it sounded fun, right? So if it sounds fun, let's do it. Let's do it. It's a game. Let's have a little bit of fun, yeah? Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and fight Hyperion, how you fight Hyperion, if you don't know how to use them, which is a pretty straightforward champ, but I do have a tutorial on him, and it can show you a few extra things. I've noticed that there are things on Hyperion a lot of people don't know he can do. Some people just think parry heavy, yeah, that's a big part of him, but there can be a little bit more to him as well, and might show some bit as need be on here. In the meantime, bait out that S2. I'm looking at my goods. I decided I could use a little S2 myself to get that armor break. I got that stun going on, and able to get 2 nice heavies in there. Isn't that a beautiful sight? And here's that S1. Just go ahead and I just don't know what happened there. It looks like I released my thing a little early and took the last hit, or I don't know. I thought I was still blocking, but I guess I must have released it. And let's go to S3, and I'm at 75%. So let's talk about and show some of the extra stuff that Hyperion can do that sometimes we forget about. I'm going to go and activate his regeneration. That's why I launched that S3 right there. I usually don't use S3s in these kind of quicker fights unless I need to, because the animation seems forever. So I went ahead and activated that regeneration. Again, if you don't know how I did what I just did, be sure to check out my tutorial. So I started off at 75%, and I'm already working my way up quickly. His regeneration is highly underrated in my personal opinion, as I've already gotten from 75% all the way into the mid-90s. I kind of stalled back a little bit as I got some more regeneration, got him back up to 96. So I got about 21% heal from that regeneration. Again, in my opinion, pretty underrated. It can be pretty helpful, can help recover some recoil damage, or if you just make a silly mistake like I made. And I was going to use Hyperion here just to kind of even it out, who would be perfectly good for this, but I can't pass up a Corvus charge. Even if I don't plan on using Corvus any more fights, it's a Corvus charge. You just don't pass up a Corvus charge, you know? Because you just don't know when you're going to need it. And I swore I dex there. For some reason, the dex just didn't seem to work. I'm assuming the dex bug is still heavily as possible, but I'll take the dex bug or the parry bug over some of these silly bugs I got. I posted a video a few days ago of a massive bug I got to where I kept doing the same fight over and over and over again, so I finally had to exit the game because I couldn't do nothing. I did the same fight probably close to a dozen times because I didn't even start filming until I had already done it many times. And then after that, they made me restart the path. So let's look at the boss fight. Ability triggers 20% more often. Defender healing abilities can't be reversed. Champ more unique buffs gain power when the attacker same basic attack twice in a row. Unblockable for 6 seconds. When the attack attempts to remove a buff, nullify fate, still stagger. Chances to nullify fate, still stagger effect is reduced by 20%. I initially brought in Warlock, but I also wasn't focusing too much on that double attacks, and I'm also looking at the buffs. So even though Warlock would probably absolutely decimate this fight, I decided, you know what, Odin sounds fun because I think I should be getting pretty good power. He can get a lot of buffs super duper easy. I don't see any way I won't always have more buffs than Wolverine in this fight. Therefore, I should be getting a lot of good energy. So I just made a mistake. I miscalculated my basic attacks. I was trying to rotate heavy, then medium heavy, then heavy medium, and I completely got myself confused. I should have been keep doing medium heavies, and I did back-to-back heavies, caused Wolverine to get unblockable, and that just caused me to almost lose my Odin right away. So I completely messed up there, and then it kind of threw me off my game while I was figuring out what just happened. I threw an S3 to kind of recalculate my thoughts, and I recalculated without the Odin Force available. I usually won't do without two of those little yellow doohickeys up there. However, I felt the need to because I had to redo my thoughts, so I'm changing my strategy here. And at this point, you know what? I decided, you know what? Just forget about it. Could I probably just do medium heavies the whole fight? Yeah, probably, but you know what? I can get a little bit of more fun gameplay going in here. So I'm going to get my second Odin Force right there before I do my S3 again. Get that S3, get those extra little benefits. If you're not sure what I'm doing or why I'm doing certain things, be sure to check out my tutorial on him. And so I got the extend going on, got the energize going on. I'm going to go to get my second. I'm being careful that the unblockable, or at this point I made enough mistakes, trying to be careful to not do any parry heavies while the unblockable is up. And got myself to the S2, got the Odin Force, and just smashed him down with a boom chaka lucka rocka rocka boom. Yeah. So down goes that, nice and easy, super easy. Go through again. The champs I use can work on most of the fights. Don't think you need to use any of those champs, but the basic idea. Use the cosmics primarily. So the ones that use some buffs or armor break work very well. And don't forget, I'll do a video for each of these. Every single month I do the entire EQ Cavalier walkthroughs, item free, and don't forget to click the top left icon to subscribe to Mcoc Al Bundy Earls. Turn those notifications on. Check out my other stuff. Thank you.